I ask God for his mercy, not for me. I ask God for his mercy for my child and to forgive me because it was my fault. She was born with water on her brain.
My name is Carolyn Boyd. Hear my story. I was born and raised in Chicago. I grew up in poverty. My father was an alcoholic. Him being an alcoholic, he was not at home much. And my mother, being a protective, overprotective wife, chased after him and left us children to feed and take care of ourselves in the home. But my mother would send me to a neighbor. He knew what was happening or what he was going to do. He set me on his lap. There was grooming, and he took advantage of me, and he always sent me home with money. And when I would get home, my mom knew that I was bringing home money and would take the money. As I started growing up, I started learning that I was only good enough for cigarettes and beer, because that's what my mom gave me away as.
And by the time I was 15, I was a shy away from turning 16 years old. I just left. I ran down the stairs and went through the end of the block, and I never came back. I ran to a friend's house. I went to a friend's house. I thought I don't know what I thought. I thought it was just going to be a happily ever after life. And the friend's house that I ran to, perception is reality, reality is perception. This wonderful life that she talked about that made me so hungry for it really wasn't a wonderful life. Her mother was a crack user, and my friend's mother used to take me with her on the drug runs to buy the drugs. And one of the high power gang leader who was selling the drugs had an interest in me. She tells me I have to have sex with him, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have sex with him. And he forces his way onto me, and I'm like, I tried to fight him off. And when he was done having sex with me, I will never forget it, because when he got off of me, he said, how did that feel? Did you like it? I knew you would like it. And he gave me an 8-ball, and I snorted that like if it was drinking water. And I think that was just the end of my life of feeling anything ever again. And it got to the point that I didn't care what he did to me. I didn't care what I had to do to get what I wanted, because I was lost. I didn't love myself. I didn't know what love was. I came from a home that, at 7 years old, you learn that the only love you're good for is giving your body away. And I started feeling really sick every time I would smoke a cigarette or get high. And I didn't understand why I was feeling so sick, and it was to the point where I had passed out. And so I ended up going to my family doctor, who took care of me when I was a little girl, and she ended up giving me a pregnancy test and said, you're pregnant, you're having a baby. I still didn't stop doing drugs. I still was getting high. I ended up having my baby, keeping her, and she was born with water on the brain. I didn't find out until after a week of being home from the hospital. It wasn't until that time in the emergency room, in all my times, that I checked outside my head. But this time I knew where I was going when I checked out inside my head. I checked in I checked out of my head, but into God. And I just prayed for the first time, like really prayed. And I asked God for mercy. I asked God for his mercy. Not for me. I asked God for his mercy for my child. And to do whatever he could and to forgive me because it was my fault. She was born with water on her brain. It was my fault because I didn't go and take care of myself. And I just, again, just came and went. But I came and went knowing that wherever I was going to go, I was going to go and do it right this time. So I was 20 years old when I graduated high school because I decided to go back to high school. And from one good job to another good job, I started seeing God's riches. And I was able, from getting out from public aid to getting into a nice apartment to being able to buy my baby girl anything and everything. And if you walked in my shoes, or if you've been through the same things that I have been through, I want you to know that one, God loves you, and don't give up hope. I never gave hope on myself, even though it was trying times. I want you to know that it's okay to not be okay. I wouldn't be able to sit here and tell you things if I didn't get past humiliation, if I didn't take time to cry out, and if I didn't just become queen of my world. And being queen of my world is I own my story. My story no longer owns me, and it doesn't have a hold on me, and no one has a hold on me. And whatever holdbacks that I go through, I know I've did them to myself. And I fight every single day to keep moving forward. And I want you to do the same.